Hey everybody, I have a word that I want to share with you today, and it comes out of the book of John, chapter 11. This is when Jesus raises his best friend Lazarus from the dead. Just remember that Lazarus has two sisters, Mary and Martha, and the three of them, Lazarus, Mary, and Martha, are very, very close with Jesus as Jesus makes his journey. So Jesus goes to the house of Mary and Martha, Lazarus, knowing full well that he is going to raise Lazarus from the dead. He knows the restoration that is about to take place. Yet when he gets there, Mary and Martha are distressed. They're struggling, as anybody would be after just losing their brother. And Mary and Martha are a little upset with Jesus. They say things to him like, "If you would have been here, my brother wouldn't be dead right now." Starting with verse 32, it says, "When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, 'Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.'" And that's really hard and heavy for Jesus to hear. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the other Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." And then at that, Jesus began to weep. I think it's really important for us to see this right now, that in Jesus seeing Mary weeping, that his spirit, that he responds to her feelingly, he is greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. As we walk through and as we struggle through this really hard and this painful season that we are living in right now, I think that it's really important for us to remember that Jesus sees us. Just like Jesus saw Mary weeping and it moved him, if you are weeping right now, Jesus sees you and he is moved by you. And maybe crying isn't your thing. Maybe that's not what you're doing. If it's not that, Jesus sees you in your disappointment and it moves him. Jesus sees you in your pain and it moves him. Jesus sees you in your fear and it moves him. Jesus sees you and hasn't left you alone. One thing about our pain and about our struggle, and you know what, this season that we're living in is not going to be the last time that we face hard things. And I think just as humans, we know that. And I think that it's so important for us to remember that Jesus has gone ahead of us, that he is already in those hard things even before we are. Jesus doesn't just skip over all of the hard things and get to the end, get to the restoration, get to the resurrection, get to the renewal. Jesus didn't skip all those things here with Lazarus. He didn't just waltz in and raise him from the dead. He first saw their pain and he was in it with them. And before our restoration, before our renewal, before our getting to the other side of this hard season that we are in, Jesus is right here with us in this hard and painful thing. Right now, right in this moment, Jesus is capable of doing two simultaneous things. The first is that right in this moment, God is creating a path forward for us. And at the same time, as we go through these hard parts, Jesus is with us in that too. Jesus sees us in that. And Jesus is moved by our weeping, by our disappointment, by our struggle, by our pain, by our anxiety, by our fear. He's moved by it all. So we can rest in knowing that God is at work in the world and at the same time right next to us and with us in whatever we are feeling and whatever we are going through. God loves you so much. Take care.